Likewise, because of the inactivity of Bunny, I haven't seen too much of his TvT either, so I'm ready to bear witness. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the ex-military Terran player representing the Kwangdong Freaks. It is TY. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. Bunny, of course, yet to go to the military. Has been very inactive this year, but has been active where it counts. In GSL. And because of his performance in Season 1, he was seeded directly into the group stage here in Season 2. And we'll see how he's able to perform. He didn't look too bad against Classic earlier. Remember that series did go all the way to the ace match in that TvP. And that series also involved Classic hamming it up with ninja bases and with gold bases. It was wild. So I would like to see Bunny in a much more standard game. And I feel like that's what we're going to be getting here in this TvT. TY going for, oh my god, going for a CC first. I was going to say going for a Rax Expand, but it was even faster than that. A very greedy opener here from TY. You don't see this too often at all. Just straight up CC on the low ground before anything else. Very greedy, very economic. Bunny is going for an SCV scout, and he will confirm this. We'll confirm how the timing and the production already done on this CC. Okay, he does spot it, and he's going to try and delay it as best he can. Throws down a bunker on the low ground. We do have that Reaper on the way. Again, I do think this is really smart because this Rax is delayed, so the Reaper is delayed, so Bunny should be able to get here in time, but no, the boys were pulled. And Bunny, he won't be able to finish that bunker. He's going to try. He does double back, but he does double back for a moment. He is so adamant about completing this bunker. Oh god, one shot away from going down. But the Marine should come out in time. The Reaper has arrived, and my mistake actually. The Marine shows up, but the Reaper is here. This bunker, I think it's gonna finish. Up. Ooh. SCV does fall. Yeah, the Marine just can't keep up here, and it's gonna be so close, but just barely 1 second away. The bunker was 1 second off. The SCV goes down. And the bunker is cancelled. Regardless, the Reaper does have control of the low ground, but not for too much longer. The bunker would have provided so much more time here for Bunny to really establish himself and deny mining. Last it was cancelled. We see Bunny trying to dive into the main base, but the Marines are waiting for him. Ooh, and a Reaper goes down. And good positioning, good foresight out of TY. And as a result, TY, it's not going to take him too much longer here to regain control of his natural base. We have a Hellion in production. Oh, good micro out of Bunny. He picks off another Marine back at home. It was a double gas opener. So because of this, faster factory, faster starport, delayed CC. Bunny going to be very aggressive with this opener. He's going for a tank. He's going for a medevac. He's going for a tank drop. And again, because of TY's opener, he was basically goading Bunny into like, mate, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about my CC opener? Bunny's like, okay. let's see if you can survive, Poppy. Let's see if you can survive. As so far, TY's done a good job at minimizing his losses. Banshee on the way as well. I love it. This Banshee, honestly, is going to be a really good way at shutting down this tank. Sure, we have a couple of Marines, we have a little bit of anti-air, but there's no stim. The anti-air available here for Bunny is very limited. As TY goes for a very fast third TC as well. Man, he's so greedy. Oh my god. This game. He just doesn't care what Bunny is up to. I mean, TY, he hasn't even scouted. He didn't SCV scout, didn't make a Reaper, has no idea what's going on. Banshee rocks up, tank will siege, but the Banshee is here to help deal with it. Yeah, and with the arrival of this Banshee, Bunny has to give up that position. He has to back off. The third CC was scouted at least. Was delayed for a moment. We can see Bunny reacting with his own CC. Oh, and he's going to be able to snipe another SCV. Not too bad. Does delay the third base of TY a little bit longer. Oof. Yeah, as the Cyclone has at least arrived, and with that we have an answer for the Banshee. Can he focus down the tank? It looks like he will! The tank goes down! And that is suddenly well worth it for TY. He may have traded his Banshee for the tank, but I mean that is the backbone of this army. Suddenly, Bunny, he has to turn back around. He has to go back home. He has no more staying power. TY has held. And he's going into mech. Because of course he is. Oh, is he? Actually, I'm not too sure. Okay, there we go. I was confused because I don't know if you saw combat shields was in production. So I was like, wait, why do we have a second factory for getting combat shields? But TY does cancel combat shields, and yeah, he is transitioning into mech. A much more standard style of mech, as he is pumping out 2 Vikings at a time, so it's going to be tank Viking. So he'll have plenty of anti-air and anti-ground. We're in for a long one, aren't we? And he's looking to make full use of this map. We do see a scan into the main. Bunny spots the additional factories. He's aware of the mech. And he's going to try and slow it down before it really gets out of control. He has 2 Ravens available. He has disables to his name. Meanwhile, TY is just shutting down these rocks. Sorry, these towers in the center of the map. Is going to be walling off. Is going to be turtling up. So what I mentioned earlier, Neo Humanity is a very defensible map because of things like these rocks, these towers, these choke points, the points of elevation, the high ground. And going for this slow style of mech on Neo Humanity, it makes a lot of sense. The terrain is at your advantage, is working in your favor. And Bunny backs off. He flirts with the idea of pushing in. He backs off. He's going to go for a drop. But as Bunny goes back home, he's going to be throwing down a 4th CC. He needs to boost up his economy. He needs, for the time being, TY's ahead, which is terrifying. For a mech player to be ahead economically is a terrifying thought, whether you're a Terran or a Zerg player playing against mech. So Bunny has to make up for that. He's going for a faster 4th base. Same time he goes for a drop. Vikings are waiting for him in the main base. The medevac is going to be shut down. Not before it unloads the majority of those Marines, but Stim is still not done. At the same time, the main army of Bunny is looking for a way in. The tanks are out of position. These reinforcements are being caught out. Barely. Auto turrets are thrown down. 1, 2 tanks do get targeted. A good trade for Bunny, but I feel like he has to be careful about overstaying his welcome. He recognizes that he doesn't have the Viking lead. He does land his Vikings. Oof. But he's going to be losing his tanks. He did not have vision, and TY is going to shut this down. Now, he did lose 10 SCVs. But what's terrifying is that even though TY lost 10 workers, he's still ahead. He's still ahead in the worker count. It just goes to show like how much that CC first, how much that lead really gave him. How much his opener really set him up. Set him up to succeed. You know, Bunny still looking for another way in. He was able to at least preserve his Vikings. Rebuilding his tanks, building up his bio. This time he will have Stim for the push. As before this he didn't. Meanwhile, TY is just working on his 4th base on location. He is spreading out his tanks, and as a result, he's being spread a little bit thin. The army is spotted by the Cyclone, and we can see immediately TY is repositioning. A good scout from TY. Oof. Tanks are forced back. The 4th base has been delayed, at least for a couple of seconds. Marines are looking to dive in once again. At the same time, Bunny is getting ready to push in on the left-hand side. But the sensor towers are being thrown down. TY still has a worker lead. That may change soon, especially if he bleeds out too many of these workers. Does force to cancel these gas geysers, but finally the Marines do get cleaned up. as TY is commencing Liberator production. Interesting. Looking at the units tab, TY is actually behind in the Vikings. He has 11 Vikings to the 13 of his opponents, but he's already transitioning into Liberators. For those wondering, air control, air superiority is so important here in TvT. They help support your tanks so much. For those wondering, tanks can actually shoot further than they can see, so that's why having control of the skies really does benefit your tanks more than anything. Not just that, but we go into Liberators, and Liberators can just bully tanks back left and right. They can help you break these entrenched siege positions. And TY is just going to be chilling. Just building up his army, going for a couple of scans, trying to recognize what he is up against. You do see Bunny throwing down additional starports. Also going into Liberators. Liberator range on the horizon. I believe there's no fusion core for... Yeah, there's no fusion core for TY, so he doesn't have lib range available to him yet. That could be impactful here for Bunny. He has the higher Viking count as well. God, he has so many Vikings. 17 Vikings. Ay, ay, ay. So TY maybe just miscalculating or misjudging the situation here. Because he has less Vikings, Bunny, he can bully back these Liberators as well. And there we go. One Liberator already goes down. Ravens are brought forward. These tanks are looking a little bit exposed. And here we go. The Liberators of Bunny do rock up. And what can TY do? Nothing. He has to unsiege. He has to give up this position. Oof. Both armies are maxed. TY, instead of course investing in all these tanks, is actually going for a bit of a counterattack instead. Okay, he recognizes that he can't quite hold on to his planetary. Oh, Bunny doesn't want to get caught out of position either. He does see the rotation. He's trying to keep up with it. Up! A bit of a misrally. 1, 2 tanks go down. Likewise, TY also lost a couple of tanks to the Liberators as well. Both players are trading. TY still doesn't have the Viking lead. He takes an anti-armor missile to the face as well. This fight is so close. It looks like despite that spell, TY is barely holding on. Barely does force Bunny back. This Bunny is working on ship weapons. There we go. Fusion core on the way for TY, so he's going to be working towards lib range. Bunny still hasn't really been able to make use of his Marauders or Marines. Like, they're here, and they're, of course, keeping TY back. Hasn't been able to harass too much. TY's just been keeping up time and time again. Movement of Bunny. Additional bases are being taken. Bunny's just trying to find a better angle of attack, but TY, he does keep up. He goes to the scans, recognizes, hold up, where is the main army? Oh, there you are. He's just not giving an inch. We see Bunny trying to be a little bit cheeky here with Marauder drop harass, and hey, he's going to get a couple of tanks. Pretty good. Oh, but Bunny is out of position because he was over on the left-hand side. We can see TY pushing his way through the center of the map. He is within range of that planetary. Oof. He's losing a lot of his Hellbats. We see Bunny. He's just going to give up on that base. Going for his own counterattack instead, but TY does see this ahead of time. He does keep up. At least the Liberators do stay back, so it looks like Bunny is going to be able to hold onto his center base. Oh, but the Vikings are coming in. TY has 26 Vikings! Oh my god! 26 against the 15 of Bunny. That's a lot of Vikings, Puffy. Calm down. Look, he didn't like earlier that he had the Viking deficit, okay? So he just doubles down. Hey, Vikings, they can land. They can shoot up and down, kind of. They can shoot straight ahead, is what I should say. Ay, ay, ay. 26. It's basically pure Viking tank at this point for TY. Almost pure Viking. As TY does take down that center base, and Bunny didn't get anything with his own counterattack, was forced back home. At this point, I feel like we should just work towards BCs. I feel like TY should be working towards like Yamato and additional starports. Meanwhile, Bunny, to make up for his lack of Vikings, we have Thors on the way. Thors are in production. That will help, especially if TY bunches up his Vikings. Bunny making 9 Vikings at a time. Oh my god. This is the evolution of TvT. Initially, it's like all about like tanks, and then it's all about Vikings. It's all about the Sky Terran. And then you have the super late game, which is BC versus BC. If we can get there. We can see TY forcing his way across the map. He does lay siege upon the fresh mining base of Bunny, and this orbital is going to go down. If it lifts, it dies to the Vikings. If it stays landed, it dies to the tanks. There's just no way out. Orbital does go down. Oh my god, and here we go. The Viking fight is upon us. Bunny building up to 30 Vikings. I mean, he had 9 Vikings being produced at a time earlier, so he catches up in the Viking count. He exceeds his opponent. Oh my god. As he bullies TY back. We need more Vikings. 7 libs are on the way. As there's nothing for the Vikings to kill. I guess they're the Liberators, but TY, he's just keeping them hidden. Keeping them safe. TY now going into Thors instead. Now, did we make too many Vikings? Oh my god, as he does catch TY. Did accidentally lift some of his Vikings. We'll lose so many of them. I don't think that was intentional. Maybe it was. Maybe it was just to get into more, just to free up supply for more Thors. It's possible. He just wanted to clean up those Vikings. If that was the case, he would have gotten rid of all of his Vikings though, so that's why I'm still on the fence about that. Here we go. You see TY trying to force his way forward. Thor shots going off. Oh, the Liberators are within range. They're going to be able to take down a lot of these tanks. But the Vikings, they don't care about your liberation zones. They push on 4. They get on top of the base. Bunny, we're going to have to land. Oh, but we lift. The land micro, the lift micro. The Vikings of TY will go down, but he got 15 SCVs. Ugh. We are transitioning into mass Thor. Thor Viking, to be fair. It's not about the tanks, not anymore. Well, it kind of is about the tanks. As TY is forcing his way through, he still has an insane economy. The repairs as well in the Thors is not enough. The Liberators take them down. Ooh, 3 Thors do fall. There's Liberators going ham. But Bunny has to be careful because he's running out of money. Like, this entire time, TY has been denying the center base, the base on the right-hand side. Bunny has no gas bank. He's not mining here from that rich-vesting gas geyser either. Bunny is running out of steam. Despite having the base on the left-hand side as well, he just hasn't been making workers. He hasn't been making SCVs. His bases just aren't saturated. Now, Bunny has a super maxed army. Like, he straight up has more army supply than TY. But if he takes a bad fight, then it will all snowball out of control. As we have more Hellbat harass. Well, the Hellbat show up to kill workers, but there just are no workers to kill. TY once again pushing out. We have 37 Vikings. Maybe I should just leave it on the unit tab at this point. Just so we can all see. Thors are pushing on 4. They get some good volleys off. A mine shot goes off on those Liberators. But it's still not going to be enough. The 13 libs do hold the line. We mentioned it earlier, but near humanity, there are so many choke points, so many ramps as well. Pushing up here. Pushing up any of these ramps can be so difficult if the Terran player is able to keep up with your movement. The opposing player is able to keep up with your movement. As Bunny recognizes how little gas he has, so he's just taking and prioritizing gas mining at every single one of his bases. working up the gas bank. He's okay. Oof. Another massive mine shot goes off. Nah, I wasn't expecting the mine shot. I apologize. God, but Bunny's army is so battered and so bruised. All in at least the orange, some in the red. Yo, the mines are coming in. Up! Up, the retargeting! Oh, don't quite get it. But we just need a couple of mine shots, a couple of juicy mine connections, and the entire army of TY will go down. So we are just rebuilding mines. Mines, Vikings, stores, everything we can. Three on the way for Bunny. He's trying to rebuild more of these liberators. Oh, but I don't think this is a fight that he wants to take. Freedom zones are forcing back TY, and it looks like Bunny is going to win the battle in the sky as well. But he can't push into these Thors. Oh, both players losing so much, but Bunny lost his base. And that's what matters. Bunny did lose his CC. The Thor count was almost reset. We are down to 2 Thors. Likewise, we barely have any Vikings left on the map. Bunny down to only 3 Vikings. Even though Bunny had a massive army, because it was so softened up, because it was so battered and so bruised, like, he still really couldn't take a dominant fight. Oh, as we've been making Liberators, not Vikings, Bunny, he doesn't have a lot of anti-air. The Vikings of TY going ham. He's going to clean everything up. Every single Liberator is going to be going down. This was the moment he was waiting for. Bunny just remaxing on the wrong units, on Liberators. And Bunny will lose his main army. He still has a couple of reinforcements. Now going back into Viking production, but that was a big loss for Bunny. Meanwhile, he's scanning, getting eyes on the other mining bases of his opponent. Likewise, TY also running out of gas. He's just running out of gas geysers, period. The one hero lib denying mining here on the bottom left. Is it going to get cleaned up? This is still really scrappy, but as we can see, TY is the first player to remax. He is up 40 supply at this point. Bunny is doing everything he can to harass, everything he can to try to stifle the economy of his opponent. But if push came to shove, I do think that TY would be able to take another fight. PC is under threat. We can see Bunny's trying to rebuild his Vikings 9 at a time once again. He's catching up, slowly catching up in the Viking count. Meanwhile, TY is taking one of Bunny's bases. Ay, ay, ay. And I love that TY is making use of his minerals. He couldn't really make anything of them earlier, but he makes a wave of Hellions, gets into some mineral lines. We don't really have many planetaries for Bunny. The planetaries are on the right-hand side, so these mineral lines are very exposed. Hellion run-bys could do a lot of damage. Speaking of, TY, he does rock up with his Hellions. Oof. And these SCVs will fall. Meanwhile, Bunny sharking around. Has the Viking lead in his favor. We're going for another big fight as well. We're wasting a couple of volleys on the Liberators. It looks like Bunny can barely win out on this fight. There are no Thors on the ground. Nothing else to support the army. TY will lose every single one of his Vikings. Did the SCVs just kill a base? That just happened. The SCVs with those Hellbats take down the center base, and we're long distance mining. Oh my god. TY. Fafi. Oh, the SCVs are dying, but we steal the minerals. That's what matters. We steal the minerals, Papi. Oh my god. TY, calm down. I mean, he had SCVs to spare, and even if he doesn't get the minerals himself, at least he denies them from Bunny. Doesn't deny them. Bunny pushing on forward. Bunny still has the Viking lead. He's going to be able to get on top of these tanks. Oh, the mines! But the mines do force him back. I still want it so badly. I want like a juicy mine shot to go off. We can see TY dropping in those SCVs, but he doesn't really care too much. Doesn't need as high of an SCV count anymore, especially because we're running out of mineral patches. We're running out of resources. Mine shot goes off on the Marauder. I'm telling you, one juicy mine shot. I mean, it's not even going to come down to that. The Cyclones, they get some lock-ons as well. Bunny is bleeding out far too much. He is down to only a handful of Vikings. He's got 2 tanks to his name. TY has just been able to out-trade. Not just out-trade, but just have just a better economy, better income. Can rebuild everything. Bunny hasn't even been able to retake that center base. I was half expecting TY to scan and then just mule. Why not? As Bunny has been on his last legs for quite some time. Trying to force his way through, but this is his final army. Vikings do bleed back the Sky Terran army of TY, but on the ground, he's victorious. GG gets called, and TY takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Well, I did ask for mech. Not quite the mech that I wanted, but I'm quite happy with it. Quite happy. GG, well played. TY, if you remember, 20 minutes ago, it all started, 25 minutes ago even, it all started with such a greedy opener from TY. He had a massive economic advantage from the get-go, an advantage that that Bunny was never able to take away from him. Even as we got up to 4 or 5 bases, we saw that TY was able to just get there faster, get there harder, and not just that, when it came to a lot of the fights as well, when it came to how aggressive and how assertive TY was, he was able to outposition Bunny so many times. Now that I think about it, I don't think Bunny was able to deny a single base of TY that game. Whenever bases were under threats, it was always like TY across the map denying orbitals, denying planetaries, getting kills, killing workers. Bunny wasn't really able to break the defensive line of TY at all. There were a couple of times where he was able to get like some SCVs, like get some Liberator harass or maybe some Marines or Marauders, but nothing too major. TY was a brick wall, and with that, GG, well played. Well, he takes the lead in the series, but that was merely game 1. We are diving into game number 2. Number 2. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gress Farm, we have the ex-military Terran player, the returning South Korean Terran representing Kwangdong Freaks, leading the series 1-0. It is TY. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming, down in the series but not out. Oh, going for some proxy Raxes. It is Bunny. For a moment, I forgot we were casting Korean TvT because we've had quite a lot of TvT so far tonight, and we weren't getting proxies at all. Maru was playing more defensively, TY as well, but Bunny says enough is enough. I've had enough. He's going for a proxy 2-Rax across the map. Meanwhile, TY is going for a double gas opener. With this, he's going to be going for a delayed Nexus. He's going for a delayed CC. He's going to be going for a faster factory. Boy, so already a good moment here for TY. We'll see if he can scout this. We'll see if he can recognize what's going on in time. We'll see if he's going to be able to micro and react in time as well. I kind of like this from Bunny. I feel like TY is a little bit like Ryung, where because we've been seeing so much mech, I think it's... Oh, he's going to scout this. Oh my god, TY. He checks. He sees this well ahead of time. Oh boy, he's going to be working on his Reaper. He's going to be getting ready to pull some SCVs as well. Going to be preparing here for the proxy. But what I was going to say is that I think he's very similar to Ryung, where Ryung knows that he's a little bit of a slower player, but he's like very, very like smart, and he's very positional oriented. He can slow the game down and take away some of the advantages of his opponent. That's how Ryung was able to beat Raynor, if you remember, a couple of days ago in WTL. Ryung, with mech, he was able to shut down Raynor and really slow the game down to his pace instead. And that's kind of what we saw in game 1 of TY versus Bunny. So for Bunny to try to amp things up and to go for like a very micro-intensive style like this, it makes sense. Here we go. He does go up the ramp. It's going to get knocked away. SCVs have to be pulled here again. TY does have the unit disadvantage, so he has to pull boys to make up for that. He needs those SCVs to tank for him. Meanwhile, he's going for a proxy starport. There's nothing back at home to defend. One Liberator is all it takes. Again, so far, TY is able to keep his Reaper alive. Does lose a Marine, but he has to buy time for the Hellion. Now that the Hellion has arrived, oh, this defense is going to be that much easier. Oof. Takes down a Reaper. Oh, TY, he will lose a Reaper of his own, but yeah, we're trading back and forth, and Bunny is losing a lot of momentum. Going for a proxy 2-racks like this, like, you need to preserve your Reapers, you need to snowball out of control, and that's just not happening. And here comes that Liberator. So right now, Bunny has 0 anti-air. If the Liberator is able to siege up and take control of the main, that could just be game. We can see though, Bunny, he's scouting, he's looking. He does pull back with his Reapers. It looks like he's already transitioning, and he's going to check behind the mineral line. He does see that Liberator ahead of time. He's aware of what's going on. But the Cyclone is still not in production. Like, he can't speed it up. The Liberator will still deal damage. Will still deal damage. Aliens are moving out across the map. Liberator will arrive, and we just have to pull the boys. We just have to, yeah, minimize our losses. That's all we can do until the Cyclone shows up. Before that happens, the Reapers, they do engage those Hellions. One of them will go down. Again, barely any mining going on here for Bunny. He does arrive with that Cyclone. He's going to be able to finally shoo away this Liberator. At least Bunny doesn't straight up die. He is able to deal with that and resume mining. But that was a big loss for Bunny. For a time, they're just having 0 economy. Or 0 mineral mining, I should say. And from here, TY, he's just expanding. He has a worker lead. He has an economic lead. Working on his first tank. Yeah. TY is in a better position. I would say he's ahead right now. Bunny, though, trying to catch up. We'll have a faster CC. By a couple of seconds. By not too long, to be fair. What I'm excited for is that, mate, we have a second Rax. We have Bio. Stim is on the way. TY is not a one-trick pony. He doesn't just have to rely on mech to play TvT. Oh no! No, TY! The misclick! No! Oh! Maybe he really doesn't like Bio. Maybe. Oh no, he targeted his own tech lab. Oh, and he denied Stim. That is huge. That is massive, by the way. That's a massive delay on Stim. Oh god. Not like this, Sparky. Not like this. TY. That is going to keep him back home a little bit longer. It's going to give Bunny a little bit more breathing room to get his natural base up and running. That was just a message to the people, you know? He's saying, look, I'm not doing this because I want to, okay? I'm doing this because I have to. I don't like it. Oh, God. Not like this. You can see Bunny working on his third CC. Much faster third than TY. If we have additional Raxes thrown down, this could be a setup for an all-in, for a 2-base all-in from TY. The longer this goes on without a third CC, the more that I'm leaning in that direction. He goes for a scan. He sees the additional production buildings, doesn't get eyes on that third CC. Doesn't know how much progression there is on it. And this is a really smart move by Bunny, because he straight up had an economic disadvantage here in the early game. To help make up for it, going for a faster third is a way to catch back up and to alleviate some of the pressure that he has because of how the openers turned out. Meanwhile, a Reaper dives into the main. Gonna get a couple of SCVs. And TY is gonna be taking his own third base on location. Behind that is going to be moving out on the map. Sim is about to kick in time with this push. And we'll see what he can get done. Back at home, Bunny, he's got a pretty good tank spread. 2 tanks at the natural, 1 tank in the main. Viking patrolling Cyclone as well. He's ready for a drop. Speaking of, that's exactly what TY is attempting to go for. Bunny, of course, has confirmed the bio. I love this from TY. So he moves forward with the Vikings first. And that will give him a little bit of notice here. It will force a lock-on as well. There we go. We have the lock-on on the Viking, but we don't commit. Trade a Viking for a Viking. TY will back off. Oh, we saw Bunny getting ready for the drop as well. So a wise choice here by TY. Third base underway. Everything is just kind of settling down. Working on our upgrades. Hopefully this time we don't deny our own upgrades. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. As TY does try and attempt to punish this third baseman, the tank was already in position. TY takes a big shot to the face and will back off. Meanwhile, he's successfully distracting the main army of Bunny. He's threatening a drop into the main. At the same time, we have our tank force here looking to push into the natural. Can Bunny keep up? We do have a scan. TY does recognize that Bunny isn't too far away. He's going to be sieging up. He's going to be covering this area, and he goes for the tank. We'll get the tank of the natural, but we don't have a lot to protect the tanks of TY. Oh my god, 1 tank goes down, and yeah, Bunny should be able to clean everything else back up. TY is going to try and intercept, but alas, I think he's here a little bit too late. Oh, he does overcome the bio army of Bunny, but he still lost 2 of those tanks as he's just rallying everything he has across the map. Really trying to make this work. Is within range of the gas geyser at least. We can see Bunny getting ready to collapse on these tanks. TY sees it ahead of time. Yeah, TY is going back home. Doesn't want to get caught out by a drop. Speaking of, oh, the tanks! Oh no! Oh, the medevac goes down. The tanks will barely survive. Regardless, good value from Bunny. Sniping that medevac. TY is racing back home. Things will be calming down once again. What's important is that this entire time Bunny has been pumping out nothing but medevac, so he's going for a very drop-heavy style. TY was doing the same, but now he's transitioning into Vikings instead. So TY is looking to slow things down a little bit more. Take a more defensive role. Still has drops out on the map, of course. But again, has stopped medevac production for the time being. You can see Bunny unsieging, moving out. This third base is looking a little bit exposed. TY isn't going to be committing. Oh, actually, he may. Thankfully, we have some reinforcements for Bunny, so things shouldn't get too out of hand here back at home. As Bunny's army hasn't been spotted, TY has no idea about the amassing bio army just waiting outside his third. Until now, he does spot it ahead of time. He's repositioning. And he is... Oh, is he going to get here in time? He can't stop this army from getting up the ramp. Gases are going to be taken out. Bunny, he can threaten to drop into the main base. The Vikings are getting ready for it. Ooh. These medevacs are so low. You'll see TY versus disaster. He only loses the gas geyser, denies the drop into the main, denies the push into the third. So we have a double drop headed towards the fourth base of TY. It is a planetary, thankfully. Oh, and we can see TY setting up a surround as well. And he is going to shut down these medevacs. Oof. Full medevac goes down. TY committing hard. So brave as well. Look how low that medevac is. It's on 10 HP. He's going for a doom drop into the main base, but there are Vikings and missile turrets waiting for him. Only 2 Vikings, so he could try and just dive past this. It's going to be so risky, though. Here we go. TY is in the middle of pushing out, but no, he does pull back. He does see it. Bunny is able to unload almost the entire drop into the main base. He's forcing a massive reaction out of TY. At the same time, the main army of Bunny is looking to threaten that fourth. Liberators have rocked up. We do deny the CC. We don't get on top of the production. TY, he sims on forward. He's going to shut this down. At the same time, Bunny, he runs into the tanks. And the Marines. TY was waiting for him. Bunny just doesn't have enough to keep on pushing. He's going to get a couple of tanks here towards the end. But that doom drop into the main was designed to do even more damage, and it just didn't. And now Bunny's on the back foot. TY, he's done defending. He's going to just counterattack across the map. His army is heavily overstimmed. Hopefully he gets the tanks. Gets those tanks. Uh-oh. Likewise, Bunny able to reciprocate that damage. Gets another tank of his own. He's still hanging in there. Bunny does have a worse economy than his opponent. It took him a lot longer to get this fourth base up and running. So he's been down a base for so long. And that's why we have that gap, that disparity in army supplies. Likewise, Bunny was also throwing away a lot of medevacs, a lot of tanks. Going for this drop play was really risky. And now TY has the momentum. You can see so far Bunny's able to keep up, but the Liberators do change that. They force the unsiege, they force Bunny back. I love that Bunny doesn't turn around though. He keeps on pushing. He wants to force TY back home. Bunny knows that a fight on his side of the map is not going to work well for him. He can't afford to lose his bases or lose his economy. As I say that, a massive doom drop into the main base, and unlike his opponents, Bunny is not ready for this. He has a couple of Marines, but TY, he's going to camp the production. And Bunny, he turns everything around. Oof. Once TY had map control, once he had the momentum, he never let it go. And with this, he takes down starports, Raxes. This isn't going to end the game, but he just does so much. And Bunny doesn't have any Vikings. He can't really chase this down. He can't really stop this. He does have a couple of Marines in position. TY! No! Oh! Oh my god. As he does pull back in time. Does save his medevacs. Meanwhile, here comes the main army. TY is maxed out. He is up 40 supply. Pushing up this ramp is going to be difficult. Ooh, the Liberators, they do overextend. Liberators go down, and Bunny's going to be able to hold on to his third base, but we drop back into the main. Again, the goal here for TY is just to distract Bunny, create an opening, and he has one. He found one. The tanks are on siege. TY does back off. They do siege up in time. This is an ambitious CC. Let me tell you. So far, unscattered. And Bunny's done a great job at just buying time. He's slowly closing that gap in supply. But TY doesn't care. He sims on forward. Rough trade for TY. Likewise, Bunny, he drops on top of these tanks. They were left exposed. TY closing the gap. Sorry, Bunny closing the gap. Now taking a lead in supply. In these past couple of moments, TY just hasn't had the best fights. He is able to break into the third base though. But this time Bunny doesn't care. He's going for a counterattack. He will lose this base. The sensor tower does spot this ahead of time. TY, can he get here to his own third base before Bunny can push in? Oh, he's going for a drop. Bunny goes for the Doom drop into the main. Only one turret. It's not going to be enough. The medevacs do unload, and this time Bunny is camping the production. This is honestly so close. It's so back and forth. The third base is left exposed as well. The mineral line is going to go down. Bunny pulling TY apart. Up until now, TY was doing such a great job at keeping up with the movement of Bunny, of the tanks, of the drops. But here, finally, Bunny is pulling apart his opponents. He's going to be losing a lot of Marines. Takes down the Liberators. Another force getting ready to push in towards some of these planetaries. But Bunny, it looks like he just stuck around a little bit too long. It's going to get cleaned up. Oh, and he's setting up for a surround. These tanks are exposed once again. And they both will go down. Bunny, does he have enough? Pushing up this ramp is still so difficult. He can't quite do it. Can't quite pull it off. I also should be praising the SCV count here of TY. He's up to a... Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I misread that. The worker count's actually quite similar with each other. I saw the 112 and I thought of TY and I was like, oh, does he have 100 workers? Nah, man, not at all. Things are still very scrappy between them. Oof. But Bunny, again, maybe just overextending a little bit too long, overstaying his welcome, losing too much. As we just don't stop the drop harass. Triple drop into the main. Bunny did leave a tank back at home, but tank is going to go down as he continues to try to force his way up this ramp. But there are no Liberators here for Bunny. We have Libs on the way for TY. That will change things here. As TY, he just continues to send his Marines across the map. He just doesn't care. Not anymore. Bunny should recognize, hold up, where is your Marine army? Your Bioforce should be back at home. Oh my god, no! The missed rally! TY, he throws his tanks away. But doesn't matter because he finds a base. Nah, it does matter. He runs into a wall of tanks. Ay, ay, ay. Now, these Liberators are going to force Bunny back, but he already found so many tanks for free earlier. Bunny now with a massive tank lead. What TY lacks in tanks, he makes up for in Marines. He's got double the Marine count of his opponent. There's a more maneuverable army. If he can catch Bunny on siege, then that could be it. Bearing in mind we have those Liberators as well. Bunny's trying to find a way in. We'll go for the siege. Oh my god, the unsiege gets caught! TY, he sims on forward, he gets another tank. Gets another 2 tanks even. Oh god, Bunny's gonna be so careful with how he unsieges, with how he maneuvers his army. Likewise, TY just goes for another Doom drop. No fear, Bobby. No fear. I mean, it makes sense because TY has Liberators. Like, he doesn't need as many Marines back at home, to be honest. As he dives into the main, carpet bombing the production, takes down the tank. Yeah, and this is getting out of hand. Bunny, he's going back home. But back home to what? The positioning here from TY is just too good. He takes down all the Marines, takes down all the add-ons as well. That may have just been the game-winning move here for TY. As all the production is on fire. Bunny tries to go for a Doom drop, but the tanks are waiting for him. TY was waiting for him. As Bunny can't even make anything, he's supply blocked. Ugh. This was so close, this was so back and forth, but alas, no! The Nervax almost get caught out. Almost get caught out. Bunny moving out with the rest of his forces as well. He still has the tank lead, to be fair. He's going for the surround. TY caught between two armies. This is gonna go Bunny's way. Or is it? He's forced to unsiege. It looks like the reinforcements are more than enough. TY is breaking on through. That was probably the best fight that Bunny could have hoped for, though. You can see the supplies just closing once again. The gap closing. As TY denies the center base. Bunny trying to set up another surround. We'll see if he can pull it off. As no, instead he goes for a counterattack. Once again into the main. TY does see this ahead of time, and he did leave some tanks in the main base as well. Once again, a little bit more prepared for the Doom drop. Oof. He's going to lose a lot of Marines. Meanwhile, across the map, these fresh mining bases are going down, and this is the problem. Like, Bunny, he just continues to Doom drop the production line, which is great and all, but he hasn't touched the economy of TY. Bunny has one mining base left. And soon he's about to have no mining bases. He has to protect this planetary. Oh, we have the surround. The boys are being pulled. Oh my god. The tank volleys are insane. Bunny, he survives with 16 SCVs. GG gets called, and TY doesn't. He takes the series 2-0, eliminating Bunny from GSL. GG. Oh my god. That was so wild. The constant drop play. The constant counterattacks as well. That was beautiful. GG, well played. At moments, both players had advantages. You know, both players had their main bases under threat time and time again. But as we saw, I think it's a similar tale to game number 1 as well. TY, he was not just, you know, getting on top of the production and trying to win the game that way, but it was also denying bases time and time again, getting a lot of SCV kills. Bunny, not so much. Not so much. Bunny, he never really... yeah, there were times where he tried to threaten pushes towards the north, but he was never able to commit to anything. He was never able to deny mining at any of the crucial bases of TY. As a result, that's also another reason why TY was able to just keep up and overcome his opponents in his army supply and his production. Oh. And I think there were only like a handful of moments when Bunny was able to take a supply lead. They were only after like these big fights. Like there were mistakes from both sides as well. A lot of big moments, a lot of big catches. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to TY. He does advance on. My condolences to Bunny. I'm a massive Bunny fan. Been a massive fan since like Heart of the Swarm for Bunny. And it's a shame that his GSL run is going to be ending here. But at the same time, he put on a good show. Did fight back quite hard, and hopefully this isn't the end of Bunny. Hopefully we get to see more of him. I mentioned earlier that he's not really active in the online tournament scene. He's not active in KSL or ESL Open Cup or Kung Fu Cup or WTL. Like, Bunny's just not participating in any of these tournaments. I imagine Bunny, he's not full-time StarCraft anymore. I imagine he's working on other IRL commitments. It's understandable. It's understandable. I know quite a lot of players are headed in that direction. So it's a shame that we won't see him as often. I just hope that this isn't the last we see of him. I hope that we're able to catch him, like, I don't know, in future GSL qualifiers, maybe in future GSLs as well. So best of luck. Best of luck to Bunny in his endeavors. As we are getting ready for the final series of the night, TY advances on to face his next opponent. To face off against a player that has been patiently waiting for him. This time, not a Terran player, but a Protoss Classic.